Hello there. My name is Dr. Torrey, Dr. H.S. Torrey. In today's lesson, we'll be traveling back to the 1900s, to the country of Russia. And we will be discussing how a single group of people managed to overthrow the entire country itself. This is the story of how the Bolsheviks rose to power. Our story starts in 1894, when Nicholas II was made Emperor of Russia. Over the next few years, France and other countries would break new boundaries with their technological discoveries, while Russia would basically stay in the Stone Age. What made it worse was that if anyone hurt the Emperor's feelings in any way, they would be killed. So all this tension was building. Russia decided to go to war with Japan, which they lost. And with all these troops coming home in defeat, the tension was bound to reach a breaking point, which it did, in 1905 on the day we now know as Bloody Sunday. In 1905, a group of unarmed protesters were led by a priest to the Winter Palace to present a petition to Nicholas. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Father Gapon, however you want to pronounce it. All of us are completely harmless. As you can see, none of us are armed in any way. What did you do? Why would you do that? What? Why would you do that? Why would you keep doing that? It was a massacre. This event was controversial, to say the least. After this, protests rose up and people decided to not show up to work. Well, Nicholas, realizing that his empire was falling apart at the seams, decided to whip up a document now nicknamed the October Manifesto. This document aimed to please the people without actually changing anything. It created a group known as the Duma, which at first seemed to have power, but upon further inspection did not. Every decision made by Nicholas had to go through this group, which is great, except for the fact that Nicholas could also veto any decision that they made, which put him back into power. The next issue came in 1914, when a man you may or may not have heard of named Franz Ferdinand was assassinated. This event later started World War I, which, as you know, Russia joined hastily. The main issue with this was that Nicholas decided it would be a great idea to put himself in charge of the army. I don't think you should be involved in World War I, just stay out of the whole conflict altogether. You have so many more things that you can do besides that.
I shall lead the head.
No, why would you?
I shall lead
why would you do that?
the army.
And while Nicholas was out there fighting the war, having a good wartime, everyone at home was struggling to survive. There were food shortages everywhere. This all came to a head when a group of protesters decided to protest about their lack of food, which Nicholas tried to put down with force, until the soldiers joined them. This was a big no-no, and Nicholas was thrown out of Russia altogether. With the Russian Empire now in shambles, the Duma tried to whip up a government to hold the place together while they waited for another solution. They created two parties, the Provisional Government and the Petrograd Soviets. The only issue was that the Provisional Government could do nothing and the Petrograd Soviets could do everything. One member of the Soviet Petrograd, named Vladimir Lenin, wanted the Provisional Government gone. He wanted the idea of communism to rise to power in Russia. This once again started more protests, but this time the protests were headed by a new group, Lenin's group, a group known as the Bolsheviks. The Bolsheviks became outlawed after this, and as they started to be arrested, Lenin fled to Finland, although soon after he secretly returned and prepared to overthrow the government once and for all. Lenin and the Bolsheviks were going to storm the Winter Palace and take down the government. And they did exactly what they said they were going to do. After Lenin proclaimed that the Petrograd Soviet was in charge, this is what happened next.
I want to give everybody anything that they want. Yes. You over there, what do you want?
We would like someone else to rule us. Now, none of that actually happened, but that's basically what it felt like. Lenin decided he was going to have a democratic election, but when his party, the Bolsheviks, lost, he decided that he wasn't going to have a democratic election, and he put the Bolsheviks in charge anyways. And just like that, the Bolsheviks were in power of the entirety of Russia. Thank you all for watching, and as always, have a good day.